Hello everyone, tonight we're going to be playing some MTG Arena, continuing some more Zendikar Rising Drafts. Got player token plus has at least 10,000 gold, so do at least 2. Girls will probably do some historic if there's time, and working on some new decks. Nice little format. We've got Plains as our limited time basic land reward. Just waiting for this last person to declare themselves ready. We got Crawling Barrens. Honestly, seems like it could be pretty good. I mean, playable in any deck, as long as you can. It just perpetually gets bigger, but at the same time, I mean, it's 4 mana to turn into it, well, it starts out being a 2/2 creature, so. The Might of Marasa. Removal's always good and limited, although it's not quite premium removal. I mean, at 4, it's if you kick it, it's a destroy target a creature with Planeswalker, but otherwise it's limited to 2 mana or less. But at the same time, at 1 mana, you're mostly going to be having targets that are 1 or 2 mana. So, Malachor Rebirth could be good. Although we could Red Marasa Root Brazier and go for a landfall all deck. You know, flickering basic lands. So it's just general ramp, since you can just put a basic land from your hand onto the battlefield with it. We're waiting for this person to pat. No? Waiting on this person to pass some packs down. So it's always gotta be somebody that holds up the draft by not picking as quickly as everybody else. Like, Sign of the Swarm. Let's go with the Scythe Cat if we're going landfall. This is Zendikar could be good with the Crawling Barrens, since they can make it a base 4/4. And makes it to where it returns to your hand if it dies. Okay, so let's go with that. Constructed creature you control with +1/+1 count. Or it has Menace. Same thing, this is. Yeah, let's go with the thing with landfall. Though, could go Golgari rather than Selesnya and still use Malachor Rebirth and Bloodchief's Thirst. Then we could use that creature. Because, I mean, we've got 2 things that will be playing +1/+1 counters on themselves, but then again, one we picked up specifically to play with Marasa Root Brazier since it works with landfall. Those Nissa Zendikar could be good. Don't necessarily want too many. Mostly just because it's 4 mana. But I mean, if you can cast it, you pretty much always have a target. Smite the Monstrous. Going to go Celestia. I we should at least have something to. We should at least have some removal. All in those colors. Canopy Ballast. Probably lay off on the 4+ mana stuff for a bit. Get another Knight of Marasa. Guess we're getting another Nissus Syndicon. The Hagrid Constrictor. So maybe we could go. Yeah, I mean we've only picked up two cards that actually rely on light, so. Two tap token, so a copy of Skyclick Relic. Let's go with the Scythe Cat. Gnarly Colony. He gives each creature you control all the +1/+1 counter on it trample. All seems pretty good in this deck so far. Plus we need things that are a little lower to the ground. So let's pop the white stuff into the sideboard while we wait for our next pack to be passed to us. Toward the grave. We have nothing that contributes to party, so probably not. Because Andrew Stomper enters the battlefield, Ginger Landstealer in his hand. I'm gonna go with Dauntless Survivor because again, +1/+1 counters. Subtle Strike also puts a +1/+1 counter on the creature. So also play into the themes provided by the Gnarly Colonies and the Hagrid Constrictor. Just waiting for somebody to, waiting for the pack to be passed to us. Right, the only card in our color was this Bloodbag Heckening, so picking that up. I mean, you can return up to two new creatures from your graveyard or to your hand, and if you kick it, and otherwise it's just 1 mana for returning a creature to your hand and from your graveyard. So, they're pretty decent. Let's pick up another Subtle Strike. Oblivion's Hunger. The Jura Blade. So now we've actually got a couple creature types for historic, or priority, because we've got Dauntless Survivor and Jura Blade now. So now, if you get anything that cares about party, it'll actually be a bit more viable. Because you can get our party up to maybe 2 if we have those specific 2 creatures on the field. Could pick up a Seagate Colossus. probably won't end up playing it, but I'm gonna go ahead and sideboard it. Because it's probably not gonna make the final deck. It's just gonna be 7 mana too often. Unless we get some good ramp, then it's probably not gonna be worthwhile. The Mind Drain, since it's the only card of those 3 in our colors. Blood Price. And Shell Shield. Well, it's just sort of given to us. We can search the library for basic land, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your library. Would be better if it wasn't into hand, so I'm just gonna pick up Gnarled Colony. Ooh, Throne of Makindi. He can be used to get 2 mana for of any 1 color for kicking spells. Well, let's go with that. You've got 2 rare lands in a limited deck. The rest is pretty much just commons. Beginning of your turn, stop, create a create a 1/1 green insect creature token for each +1/+1 card you pound on creatures you control this turn. Absolutely. Right. Virtual Scythe Cat. Ooh. Dreadworm, whenever a land in a battlefield under control, Dreadworm gains indestructible until the end of turn. I'm definitely picking that up. Grants a second and 5 mana card in this deck. I can see Iridescent Hornbeetle having a lot of potential with the Basri. It's like, Whirling Regrowth. Like, you know, you just at the beginning, you just get Basri's emblem, get the Hornbeetle out. Every turn, you get basically your total number of creatures and insects, and it just keeps going. Because, you know, Basri's emblem makes it where at the beginning of combat on your turn, you put +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. And at the end of your turn, you get, and for each of those +1/+1 counters, you get an insect from Iridescent Hornbeetle. Yes, we're going with Vanquish the Weak. Need for that one. Probably could have gone with another Malakir Rebirth, but yeah. Then Goldra's Mucklord. When it dies, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. So we're getting a Reclaim the Waste. The Kazandu Stomper. Just pick up a Broken Wings. Now, honestly, probably should have gone with like red, blue from the looks of it. It seems to be very open, at least in terms of total number of cards circling around. I mean, at least the last card was in our colors. So, hey, we were able to get mostly cards that are, you know, in our colors. Right. We've currently got set up with about 17 lands. Probably remove a swamp to make room for Bloodbath for Malkia Rebirth, since it can land it enter as a somewhat worse swamp in a pinch. Claim the Waste. We've got a couple ramp pieces, so when I can play Kazandu Stomper. It's also less ramp so much as, I mean, Reclaim the Waste is less ramp, more mana fixing. Let's see. Probably gonna want to cut at least two Mrs. Zendikars. Blood Price. Meh. I'm trying to mostly just cut things that don't really affect the battlefield all that much. Probably cut Gnarled Colony, Venture Waits. Could be alright. Right, down to 40 cards. Let's try this out. Well, honestly, probably could have actually upped our land count, since we're relying on landfall. Then that would require also cutting more cards other than lands. Just gotta wait for our opponent to wait for Arena to start doing its thing. Any day now, Arena. Come on, Arena. Oh, no. Now our opponent is going into more time extension. So neither of us have any timeouts. Alright, there we go. It's actually working now. That's 7. I'm gonna wait for our opponent to actually finish their turn. So once again going into timeout. And don't have any time extensions available, so guess there was some connection difficulty. He's on their end or something. But that just sort of happens sometimes. Got Witch's Oven. Which I kind of thought I already had 4 of those because I was playing a deck with it for a while. Because I never got not a full play set. Forest. Going aggro, maybe warrior tribal. I'm gonna see. Fireblade Charger is equipped, it has haste. Dauntless Survivor. Give him a +1/+1 counter. Actually going to let that damage me because if lands control. So you just wrecked one of your own lands? I think I'll wait to vanquish the weak until I have a bit more. Until they perhaps get an equipment out. So then I can respond to any snapping equipment, or perhaps scale the heights. Either way, it's dying, and before it can get bigger than a 1/1. It's Scythe Cat, then Swamp to Landfall trigger. And the cat is dead. They're destroying another one of their lands to search up. Which that basically was just draw a card and also thin out your deck a little. I mean, that's useful. It'd be even better if you had a way of bringing a bunch of lands back from your graveyard. Nope. Just gonna make that indestructible. Then, you know what, Gnarly Colony. Swing with the 2/2 that now has trample. Okay, that's sorcery speed, so you can't use it to get hit an instant speed. You need trigger or landfall. Just gonna keep on them. Got Might of Marasa in hand, so you can use that for either finishing blow or save a creature from dying. And aim to hopefully also bring down a larger target. Let's see. I'm gonna swing first, then worry about what I'm gonna cast this turn. Gonna pump up the Gnarled Colony. Need to keep it alive and bring down the elf. Finalize the world's snow sculptor. Oh boy. Not a big fan of that. They play a Guldra's Mucklord. You know, good solid chump blocker. Just gonna block there. The Gnarled Colony gets a +7/+1 counter. Like, this isn't looking great. Things would be a lot better if I could have actually, oh, I don't know, gotten a 5th land at some point. Yeah, I think I'm probably just gonna get stomped at this point. So I'm just gonna pass on. Yeah, so I'm seeing the end of that whole situation. But hey, we've got one win so far. Granted, it's due to, or apparently basically not showing up for something. And still, we're 1-1. So that this time, we get a 5th land if we need it. Gonna mulligan that because it doesn't have in terms of the mana that I'd actually need. Put the second forest on the bottom. Forest. Son of McKindy. Venture waits. And get the Blight Blade. Anyway, it's something I'm sure to be able to cast as reasonably soon. Blight Blade. And block that. Forest. Claim the waste. Grab a swamp. Then pass. Probably should have actually grabbed the swamp first. Because then I could have... No, I wouldn't have been able to have a Constrictor anyway. It seems he higher than 2, so can't do anything to it. Currently, without spending a whole 4 mana. Hey, I've got Haggard Constrictor out. Seems to be pondering the next move, and it's to murder my one creature. Gonna play Canopy Baloth. Hey, I've got mana to spare if I needed to Bloodchief Thirst something that turn. And it's effectively dead already. Don't really have much in the way of ways of actually doing anything about that. Just gonna play Norwood Colony. He kicked. Another Canopy Baloth. And Norwood Colony. Finally actually dealt damage to them directly. We've got Prowling Felidar out. Another creature that's too big for me to kill without kicking Bloodchief's Thirst. And I can't kick Bloodchief's Thirst right now because unless I don't have a second black mana. So instead what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna swing with another colony again. Just to keep Might of Marasa available as a combat trick. Calling Barrens. That triggers landfall. Just gonna swing with those two. Might have Marasa kicked into an Arlid colony. Giving it +5/+5, and they gave their creature protection from green. However, the trample damage still went through, so that's something at least. And now they're gaining 3 life. Thanks to the Shepherd of Heroes. Gonna swing with these two again. I'm going to Subtle Strike, choosing both, give this guy -1/-1, and give this guy a +1/+1 counter. You know, also give the Crawling Barrens and 2 +1/+1 counters because I've got the mana and nothing to spend it on. And they've already given up. So Crawling Barrens didn't even get to do anything. Right. Got 2 wins and 1 loss. And so let's hope we can keep on winning. Right. Swamp, Forest, Rebirth, Colony, Scythe Cat, Ballast. Pretty solid curve, if nothing else. Just gonna Forest and, you know, Reclaim the Waste. Make sure I can get that solid curve to go off to its full potential. And already I'm getting hit with the Akum Hellhound. Norwood Colony, unkicked, because I don't have nearly enough mana. I'm not gonna block that. Just gonna take the two damage. And I'm gonna save Territorial Scythe Catch. Instead, I'm going to give that guy -1/-1 and give Gnarled Colony a +1/+1 counter. Or just to hit him for 3. We've got Expedition Champion. Should have played the Scythe Cat. But well. I'm gonna play the Scythe Cat now, just so that next turn I can get a landfall trigger on it. Provided that it doesn't, you know, die horribly. Though I mean, I can Malachor or rebirth it. To keep it from them dying as long as I don't cast something that exiles instead of killing. Right. Now Canopy Baloth. Hit a couple landfall triggers, although I guess really I probably should have saved the forest until this will trigger Canopy Baloth until my next turn, because that way Canopy Baloth could attack. It's slow enough cost to vanquish the weak-it, so I'm just gonna do that. Head and get out of the way. And they conceded. That was probably the one creature they had. The rest were in the library or in their hand and were just uncastable due to mana constraints or something. Or maybe they just didn't draft enough creatures. Whereas that's a possibility too. Got 3 wins and 1 loss. For Kendi, I'm gonna mulligan that so that I can hopefully get Forest. And it did. And successfully get at least 1 Forest. Because I've got 2. No in this hand. Forest. Gnarled Colony. Dauntless Survivor. Really? You're playing counter spells and limited? Okay. Go for it. Meet Swamp. Swing with Gnarlid Colony. Might have Marassa to go ahead and kill that thing. Then before it becomes a bigger problem. And to draw another Light Blade, since I've got the mana. Just gonna swing with these two. Then Cell Strike. Minus that, plus that. Ooh, they've got green apparently. This is the first evidence we've had that they're playing any other color. Ooh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But hey, they bounce Gnarlid, now that gives me a chance to kick it. Just gonna get a couple swamps out. And instead of bouncing the Gnarlid, they just murdered it. Not consider the possibility of them having, you know, a combat trick other than Into the Royal. Right, Malith, and get Blight Blade Black, and Blight Blade back out on the field. And now Canopy Malith is permanently tapped. Lovely. Bet you aren't expecting Swamp to go on the attack. Gonna kick Bloodchief's Thirst because I actually can this time and kill that. Then, boom, 4 more damage via a swamp. To get the Scryax, which is Scry 1 in this case, because they only have the one, they only have a party size of 1. I'm gonna hold my swamp creature back, because if it dies, I'm not gonna be in a good place. And they've got their own land creature. Just gonna take 4 damage from that. Hey, got an iridescent hornbeetle. So now at least I've got a creature other than my swamp that can do things. So now the land creatures can duke it out. They'll both go back to their owner's hands. They'll be just inert lands again. Wait. Yeah, that would vanquish the weak. Really use something to put +1/+1 counters on a creature. And maybe Territorial Scythe Catch. Because if I can just get a landfall trigger on it, then I'll also get an insect. Oh, I'm gonna swing with the Scythe Catch. Subtle Strike. That -1/+1 until end of turn. But honestly, wasn't that useful of a move. Well, it got 1 damage through, so that's something. But I also lost the Scythe Cat. Vine Gecko. Whenever you cast a kicked spell, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Swing with the Iridescent Hornbeetle. Malakir Rebirth. So let's just come right back. I think I might be dead at this point. Especially if they stop my insect. If they have any way of buffing one of their creatures or giving one of them trample. Yeah, that's game at that point. If I had drawn a way to buff the Hornbeetle, maybe I could have pulled that off, but without it, no. Probably shouldn't have swung with the cat. Maybe I could have gotten a few more insects off of it via landfall. On to what may be the final match of this draft, since I now have 2 losses. So if we lose this one, that's going to be it for the whole draft. Swamp, forest, rebirth, hunger, colony, regrowth. Seems decent. Swamp. Forest. Norwood colony. spare supplies. Forest, Dauntless Survivor, Maryland Colony, a +1/+1 counter, and Swing 3. Another spare supplies? I mean, hey, card draw's good, but card draw that results in you being unable to cast pretty much anything and isn't so great. Gonna swing with these two. We got ways to protect them in the form of Oblivion's Hunger and Malakir Rebirth. Mana Skydancer, Flash Flying, whenever in its battlefield, target opponent mills 2 cards. Okay, a couple of my tricks. Gonna swing with these two again. Oblivion's Hunger. Or make even though a colony indestructible. They just took out Dauntless Survivor, but if I'd had another black mana, I could have saved it via Malakir Rebirth, and they just killed the one creature I still had. I guess I've gotta get a new one. Okay, they killed it with a full cost of Deadly Alliance. Alright, let's see. I have no way to kill that. Just gonna Whirling Regrowth real quick. Mostly get some more mana. Because maybe I can kill it if I can get the mana needed to play Kicked Bloodchief's Thirst. But that's about the only way I'm gonna do anything about that Dreadworm. Right. Got it. The mana needed to kick Bloodchief's Thirst, so bye bye Dreadworm. Now they're cracking their spare supplies. Fisher Wizard, I'll just make some discard a card and draw a card. Gonna this is Zendikar Crawling Barrens. You know what? I'm gonna keep it back because it can. It's got reach, so it can kill. No, the Gloom Hunter. Provided they don't buff the Gloom Hunter past maybe a +1/+1. And as long as the Barons don't get exiled, they'll just be back to my hand. Yep, just back to my hand. I think I may actually hold on to it for a turn, because that way I can cast a Canopy Baloth. Oh boy. I've got Dreadworm back. This way I can Canopy Baloth, and then get a landfall trigger for it. On the turn when it can actually attack, provided that it doesn't get brutally murdered this turn by one of the other two cards in their hand. Okay, at least it can take out another Dreadworm, especially if I can buff it a bit with Might of Marasa. Just gonna swing, then I'm not even gonna pay the full 5 mana that I could. You know what? Malkia Rebirth. It just bounces right back. Sure, like a Haggard Constrictor. I've got Ghastly Gloom Hunter again, but I can kill that easy. Just vanquish the weak. Swamp, Landfall Trigger, Haggard Constrictor, and swing 6. So I might actually win this despite everything that's happened this game. Or maybe not, given that they just murdered the best creature that I had. However, I am getting a decent amount of mana, so I'll probably trigger or the Barons at least a couple times. You have heartbeats. Okay, it's not gonna do a whole lot for them. Because it's gonna pump that twice. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. Pump it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pump it one more time. And you bet that's good game. Because you just got dealt 10 damage that you can't block because you only have one creature. Right. So now we've got at least one more match left in this draft. So I actually managed to turn that into a win. And despite everything that happened. So 1 to 3 games left. Because either I'll draft will end after either win 3 anymore or lose one more. Which I believe I've got enough to get the master pass. That's what the gems will have at the end of this. As regardless, I might save my gems for a while, to see if I can't get enough of the mastery pass with the additional 10 levels. This is pretty much how I've been getting the mastery pass for the last few sets. Is just drafting to get enough gems for it, rather than actually putting real money into Arena. Swamps. Yeah, no, it's not a good hand, neither is that. This is an at least passable hand by comparison. And just forest, knowledge colony, forest. Gonna do nectar pot, knowledge colony, and unkicked. Because again, I don't have nearly enough mana this early in the game. I'll just take the one because I get the feeling that he probably had a combat trick waiting for me to block with my knowledge colony. Got a Scythe Cat. So they seem to be going for landfall, so makes sense. Gonna block the Nectar Pod. Then swing with Gnarled Colony. They chose not to block because they also figured I had a combat trick, which I did. Now I'm being dealt 5 damage to my face. This is not going well. I'm gonna hold back on attacking so I can block some. Because that's about the only way I'm gonna survive for that long at this point. Right. Just gonna get the Scythe Cat out of here by blocking it with a 5/5. Dauntless Survivor. Give the Norwood Colony a +1/+1 counter. Alright, they're reclaiming the waste, so... They don't have a combat trick, and they don't. Or at the very least, they didn't cast one. But I'm also pretty much dead regardless of how they attack, so that's gonna be it for that match and this draft. Honestly, I might have been able to survive had I just done that turn later. But hey, at least got 3 packs and 1,400 gems. Let's see what we got. Got a mythic wild card. I got 4 of those. Got Nahiri. Yet to build decks that Nahiri would really go well in. Hey, I mean, maybe I can build around her. And we've got Violet, World Sculptor. Yeah, that makes all the planes. Which we'll be right back, and I'll draft again when I get back. I'm just gonna go stretch my legs for a bit, maybe get something to drink. Running back. We should have time for at least one more draft. Actually, see what's in the store that's my attention for real quick. Just got the 10,000 jet. We'll get the 10,000 gold for another draft. So let's do that. Some guy, I believe, where he got swamp. I think that's a different style. Right, remember Guide Beast? Interesting. I think I might actually go for Thundering Rebuke. We'll see if that the Guide Beast makes its way back around. Already, somebody's holding up the draft. Which that could be useful. Well, Ravager's Mace, I'm pretty sure that's on the signpost card, so especially if we can get some good warriors and those and whatnot that actually care about equipment. And plenty of creatures in our party. Maybe Ardent Electromancer. Once again, Valka Awakening, putting a number of cards from your hand on the bottom of the library, then draw that many cards +1. Honestly, not that great in draft. Not a feel. So let's go for Mana Sky Dancer instead. Yeah, we another creature type for party. Scorch Rider. 3. Yeah, with the 4 creature types for a full party. So then I want to look for a black cleric, as that's the only way to get all 4 major types in our party. Okay. Let's go with Sizzling Barrage. Deals 4 damage to enter a creature that blocked this turn. And here's a cleric, but I think we're actually going to want to go for the Expedition Champion. And the rare from that pack did not make its way back around. Right. Scavenge Blade or Inordinate Rage. Let's go with the Blade. Utility Knife. Just a couple cards on in our colors. Synchronized Spellcraft. This is the number of creatures in your party. Let's go with that. So we've almost got enough for a full party. Just need a cleric, like perhaps this guy. Well, currently we only have about one on for each type, so right. Malakir Blood Priest, another Malakir Blood Priest. Just to increase the number or odds of getting a full party out on the field. Fireblade Charger. That ties with this guy, but just go with that instead. Another mascot. How you doing, sir? Ooh, Kargan War Leader. Or again, kind of already largely settled into their Rakdos. I guess we could splash white if we really have to. So, I mean, we've got good stock of warriors. Rolling Vortex, at the beginning of heat flares up, keep rolling Vortex deals 1 damage to them. Whenever a player casts a spell with no mana spent to cast that spell, Rolling Vortex deals 5 damage to that player. Your opponents can't gain life this turn. That is a very niche use. Moves outside of, like, even in Constructed, I feel it. You know, it's very niche. So picking up another blood price. I mean, he didn't play it last draft, so we just gotta stick out it into the sideboard. I have my doubts about us actually using Kargan War Leader or at this rate. Right. Ooh, a Relic Robber. Oh, let's grab that. You know, party's getting pretty well filled out. I'd say probably stick the War Leader onto the sideboard. Focus mostly on things that fill out our party. Because we've got 2 clerics, 4 rogues, 4 warriors, and 2 wizards. So you should be able to have at least a party of 2, you know, a good portion of the time. Let's pick up another Ravager's Mace. see another expedition champion. That'll do. Probably could have gone with one of the rogues, maybe. Eh. We've got a decent number of rogues. Rogues, at least for a 40 card party deck. I could say mostly you need to up our wizard and cleric count on from the looks of it. We aren't really being past that many wizards and clerics. Or like with how slow this person then keeps drafting, and we're lucky to be past anything. Not sure. There's Cinderclasm. Another expedition champion. The Archer Stonework Pack Beast would help increase our cleric and wizard numbers. Honestly, I feel like we're not using black all that much. Ultimately, we're just using it a bit more than white. So we don't really have much of options to replace black with white, so we're stuck with it. Well, I mean, we wouldn't really need to we wouldn't really have to replace black with white because we've ended up with mostly red. I don't think 4 plus up to 4 to target creature for 5 is necessarily that useful. So you've got 7 warriors, 3 wizards, 2 clerics. Probably cut a couple Spitfire Legax. I think since they don't really do a whole lot for the deck. Going to have at least a couple wizards. Right. Seems decent enough. So let's try it out. We've got Swamp, Mountain, Fisher Wizard, Ordinate Rage, Rock Robber, and Scorch Rider. Seems like a decent curve. first, I think we're still waiting for them to choose whether to keep their hand. Any day now. Alright. Mountain and pass. Swamp. Fisher Wizard. Let's go to Swamp. Now we can draw a card. They're playing Orzhov. Got Ghastly Gloom Hunter. It's only 1/1, so just can't play Relic Robber. Swing with Relic Robber. And we let Relic Robber through, which means they're gonna start getting pinged by Goblin Construct tokens. Got a party size of 2, so Ravager's Mace is +2/+0 in Menace. Really, you're swinging with... Okay. That accomplishes absolutely nothing, but okay. Swing in with the... with the Goblin Construct. Inordinate Rage. Relic Robber gets is +3, +2. Doesn't have trample, so they still only have 1 Goblin Construct. Until they can find an opportunity to sacrifice it, they're gonna keep getting pinged by it. Just gonna Sizzling Barrage that. Though, I mean, keeping the ping from harming them too much by getting hits in with the Gloom Hunter, so the Relic Robber hasn't been able to do too much harm to them. Ravager's Mace. Attach it to Relic Robber. Now he's a 4/2 with Menace. And swing 4. And they can't block him unless Notice they've got something with flash. Or an instant that creates tokens. So now they've got 2 goblin constructs. So now they're being twice. Now, still pinning me with Ghastly Gloom Hunter, but it's only saving me from 1 damage. I've almost got a full party. Actually, if I can get 1 more mana, I can get a full party already next turn. Because I can Expedition Champion and Stonework Pack Beast with, except Relic Robber's dead. So I've got a mostly full party. Now I have 3 out of the 4 creature types, with Stonework Pack Beast acting as either the party cleric or the party rogue. Yeah, it just means I've got to attach the Ravager's Mace to somebody else to get +3 +0 and Menace. Wait. Scavenge Blade. Gonna attach it to Expedition Champion. I'm gonna wait. Because I'm gonna be able to get a good swing in. On the Expedition Champion. It's kind of a glass cannon. I mean, if they don't start getting some major life gain or something soon, they're gonna die from just getting pinged, just getting steadily pinged to death by goblin constructs. I mean, only getting 1 life per turn, and they're taking 2 damage each turn. So unless I get some way of dealing with either the goblin constructs or gaining more life each turn, then I'm just gonna equip the Scavenge Blade to the Scorch Rider. And they killed the Scorch Rider as well. They're still just steadily dying from goblin constructs. Gonna give Fireplate a charger, or the mace. Use it and the Scavenge Blade. And you can just go ham. Which they've got how to block it with both of their creatures other than the Gloom Hunter. Because they gave one of them indestructible also. However, they're dead, so it doesn't matter. Because when that guy died, you had to deal damage equal to his power to any target. And his power was 6. Wandermare, so the card prize. So we've got Mountain, Blood Priest, Sky Dancer, Bug Catcher, Scavenge Blade, and Expedition Champion. Seems alright. I mean, we've got enough to do before we hopefully draw a third land, which will ideally be a swamp. I mean, turn 1 can be Mountain, then turn 2 Bug Catcher, turn 3 Scavenge Blade. Need if needed. So Mountain. Got Force in a Swamp. And Gloom Hunter's back. Swamp. Bug Catcher. Actually, I almost got a full party. Okay, then it's a Bug Catcher at his full potential, full effectiveness. Like Mountain, Sky Dancer, and swing with the Bug Catcher for 3. Me with Trample. And next turn, as long as none of my creatures die, I can get full party already by playing the Pack Beast and using the Blood Priest. Yeah, that did nothing for you because you don't have a party. They just give up because of their horrible mistake of casting something that says equal to the number of creatures in your party when they have a bat and an insect. On the field. So hey, that's the second win. No losses so far, so got 3 to 5 maybe more matches and those left in this draft. Actually, probably more than that. Like actually 3 to 7 technically. Because that would be 5 losses. So it would be 5 wins and 2 losses. Ooh, Gnarlid Colony. Swamp. Pack Beast. They're playing Tricolor. And the Pack Beast is already dead. Relic Robber. Swing 2. And they get Goblin Construct. Go ahead and start pinging. I wonder if 9 Procession applies to Relic Robber. And if so, how? Because, like, well, Relic Robber's dead. So, he's like, either, I want to say it's, I want to say, hey, it would be your 9 Procession that would trigger it, that would affect Relic Robber, because that way, because needs, because the effect is under control. I'm gonna block Gnarlid Colony, Northern Rage. So Gnarlid Colony, he's already dead. Just gonna play Scorch Rider. So now I've got something we can block Brushfire Elemental. But it is a 3/3 now. No, since I've got Landfall, but that just means I lose 1 Scorch Rider to a Brushfire Elemental. They're just continuing to get pinged. To 1 Goblin Construct. Expedition Champion. Swing Scorch Rider. Okay, go right ahead. can't block with the Goblin Construct. Make it indestructible. And there goes the thing they just summoned. Their Living Tempest. Fireblade Charger. Go ahead and play a Scavenger's Blade. You can attach it to swing with everybody but the Pack Beast. You know, I'll deal the damage directly to their face. Because they were pretty much dead at that point. Like at most, maybe they could have cast something in with Kicker. Or gotten a trigger off of their familiar. Or get them some more life, but even that would be too little too late at that point. Right. Just gotta keep on going. Taking a little while to find a new opponent. Right. About half a minute. Wait, Swamp, Sky Dancer, Rebuke, Edition. And champion. I'll trade. I mean, I've got losses to spare, so let's just hope I get some red mana fairly soon. Yeah, if I lose, it'll be my first loss for this draft, so already things are not looking great. That's for sure. So far. Why did I even do that? I mean, just got blocked by effectively a wall. Oh boy. They stole my one creature. Just gonna play a Sky Dancer. Interesting that Thieving Skydiver can straight up steal an artifact creature. Just gonna let those trade. Try and mitigate some damage. and they immediately bring, yeah, the keeping that hand was a mistake. One that I will not repeat in anytime soon. But hey, like I said, it's my first loss with this draft, so I've got losses to spare. Yeah, I've still got up to 5 more matches. So I can lose one more time without it being the end of the draft. Or I've learned my lesson from the last one, so no. Especially when there's not even anything for me to cast with the mana that was in that hand. Already a Death Touch creature. Mountain. Mountain. Pack Beast. Well, I tried to keep the Stonework Pack Beast alive, but it just didn't work out. Mountain, Scorch Rider. Right, utility knife. And you've attached the Scorch Rider. And swing it. 9 for 5. Just let him through. And now he's tapped. That's probably why they just let him through, because they knew he was only going to deal 5 damage total. Just gonna Thunder and Rebuke that. Fireblade Charger. Move the equipment over. And swing into. Got a Scute Swarm, which. And they've got. Honestly, this is good Scute Swarm music. Like, honestly, this fits Scute Swarm quite well. Especially once, you know, you're past the 6 lands, now you're getting multiple Scute Swarms for every land. Gonna keep swinging with the charger. Just gonna burn that before we can touch the charger. Just have so many Scute Swarms now. And they can only kill like one. And this is what Scute Swarm does. It just becomes an overwhelming onslaught. That if it's allowed to get going. So might as well just get one last good swing in. And that's gonna be it for that match. And you know what? I'm gonna let them murder me with the Scute Swarms. Like, go right ahead. Just the timing. Just the way that song started right as Scute Swarm hit the field made that match worth it. Bugcatcher, Pack Beast, and Expedition Champion seems alright. Need for a starting hand. Mountain. Swamp, Bugcatcher. I'm just gonna let them ping me for one, get the feeling that they were eyeing my Bugcatcher for potential combat trick. They get Pack Beast and swing 3, as I now have 2 creatures in my party. He is Bugcatcher's 1, and then the Pack Beast fills one of the other her vacant roles. Oh boy. Alright, they've got a massive creature. Mountain, Expedition Champion, Hey, nothing that an Expedition Champion can't take down as long as it's not buffed in any way. Right. Another Expedition Champion. And Scavenge Blade. And attach it to one of the Expedition Champions. Then goes in, starts hacking at whatever. There for 6 damage. If they want to kill it, they have to lose either Yasharn or the Lagak. Now Yasharn's got +1/+1 counter on it, so it's a 5/5. Now instead, hey, I can just swing in with the, as long as Expedition Champion doesn't die this turn or something, I can just swing in with another 6/3. I don't trust that. I don't trust that to not have a combat trick backing it up. Right. I'm on a Sky Dancer. I now have a full party. No, I don't. Let's see. I need a Cleric or Wizard to get a full party. It's Scavenge Blade.
Right now, you're on the threshold of an amazing adventure showtime.
Now, swing with just the Bug Catcher. Becomes a 4/2. No until end of turn. Normally attacking. They just take the 4.
2, 3.
I'm gonna risk the possibility that they have a combat trick. Let's try and bring at least one of these big creatures down. They've only really got the mana for maybe one combat trick. Well, that's quite a trick to just destroy my equipment and then my creature as a result of getting to destroy the equipment. Again with Phylath? That's the second time I've run into an opponent that had that guy. Right, but catcher, do your thing. Stop that nectar pot from stinging me for 1 damage. Oh. Well. Well, that's gonna be it for that match. And for this draft as well. Well, I'm pretty sure. Because I think that was my last loss for the draft. Yep. So I got 2 packs and 1,000 gems. Which I believe that's to get an extra extra nope, it's not enough by 200 gems. So we're gonna have to wait until I can get another draft in. To do that, got Miss of the Shower Bows and Scourge of the Skyplaves. And I got another rare wild card, so been dabbling in a couple new decks, one that I haven't named yet, which is built around +1/+1 counters as well as a little bit of landfall, mostly in the form of Philidor Retreat and Scute Swarm. I think got at least a couple new additions to add to this deck. So now I've got Iridescent Hornbeetle. I think you might take out 1 Conclave Tribunal to put it in, but also gonna use this rare for either a Gonthe or a Cathar's Crusade. Because both are rare. Wait, it's Cathar's plural. So now I'm gonna maybe swap out Tindershoot Dryad Head for Cathar's Crusade. Because ultimately the deck that I've been using Gonthe in doesn't really need a second Gonthe. Because honestly it's too aggressive to need too many 4 mana creatures. Let's try the new version of this currently unnamed deck. I just haven't found a good song to match it. Got Plains, Forest, Landing, Speaker, Basri, Stampede, and Hornbeetle. Seems decent enough. You know, probably just play this until I lose with it, then switch over to a different deck. So we've got, though, depending on how long this match takes, we might not have time for a different deck, regardless of whether I win or lose. I don't like the looks of that because they're doing something ridiculous with it, otherwise they wouldn't be playing it. There's multiple variations of fling effects in this format now, so that's probably what they're doing. Probably gonna get a creature, equip the big ol' hammer to it, and then just gonna get a couple lands. You can play them both this turn. Then swing it. Lane 3. Well, really? If I'd saved it, I could have actually used it. Probably actually could have. We're just gonna sort of get rid of that real quick. Before it can do any harm to me. And time to start making some angels. Alright, they've given up. Probably because the one creature they actually got in the field I exiled. Well, soon after her land landed on the field. Probably still got time for at least a couple. No more matches. Right. Probably gonna mulligan this one, since I have no guarantee I'll get another land. I need at least 2 to be able to cultivate. If I could get 2 more lands into this hand, I'd be good. But I have no idea if I will, so probably gonna want to mulligan this. Alright, now this is a bit more promising. But one of the planes is if my mouse will let me click properly. I think I might need to replace this mouse soon because it's starting to have trouble with its middle mouse button. So it'll probably only be a matter of time before the other buttons start having more trouble than they already are. Because honestly, none of the buttons have been great in recent months. Oh boy. Looks like it's some variety of blue-black aggro. Just buff up Conclave Mentor. Do my best to beat face and keep pace. Oh boy. Here comes Rankle. And there goes Basri. Hey, I've got Cathar's Crusade. Hid in hand now. Going right to Itlamok. Get Scute Swarm into hand. And swing for her, I guess. Oh, it's Rogue Tribal, I guess. And there goes Conclave Mentor. Gonna play the Scute Swarm and hope that they don't have an easy means of killing both of my creatures. Because if they don't, then I can start, or even just killing Scute Swarm directly. Which, statistically speaking, they probably do, given that they're in black. I've got Gonthi. What Gonthi's gonna take, I don't know. Because, you know, I don't know what the top 4 cards of my library are. Oh, they took Legion's Landing. Right. I can handle discarding a card. In fact, I'm gonna cultivate. Get forest into plains. Keep the plains in my hand. Actually, I guess the plains will go on the battlefield either way. I'm gonna keep one land in my hand and just not play that second land. So that if they force me to discard a single card, I can just discard the land in place of my Cathar's Crusade. Because if I can get Cathar's Crusade onto the field, then I can do some cool stuff with Scute Swarm. And now Scute Swarm has been bounced to my hand. Although I still have one on the field because I was able to get a landfall off with with enough lands on the field. And I'm dead. Probably should have. Probably should have blocked a little bit differently there. You know, probably should have blocked Gonthi or something, but I was thinking of trying to keep my creatures alive instead of myself. So, unfortunately I didn't get to do anything fun with Cathar's Crusade. Like I said, I lost the match, so I'm just gonna switch to a different deck. I'm gonna switch to, fittingly, a Rogue Tribal deck in the form of Mask of My Own Face, which is named after another song by Lemon Demon, just on a different album than Spiral Advance was. Well, I think I might actually change the name of this deck. Right, so got Wind Robber, Thought Thief, and Enforcer, Thoughtseize, and Black Bloom Rogue. Let's keep that. And it's vampires. Go for Gil Thoughtseize. Get rid of Veto. It looks like it's not vampires. Well, Silver Smoke Ghoul is a vampire. Or technically. Thieves Guild Enforcer. And then go ahead and get Merfolk Windrobber out as well. They just give up on the spot right there. Wow. They didn't even have to try that hard to win that one. Right. Guess I'll just keep going with this deck. It's been performing pretty well. Well, not off stream, but you know, that's off stream. Right. Claim Territory, Watery Grave, Joy Miscreant, Thought Thief, Horn, Icon, and Thief. Thief of Sanity is the one creature in this deck that is not a rogue. It's mostly just there because honestly he fits the theme, despite not being a rogue. And instead just being a specter. Because I mean, get some of the stealing your opponent's cards theme, and it's just generally a good card in the colors. Now, how there ended up being a stop there. I guess I misclicked at some point. Which, Watery Grave, pay 2 to have it enter untapped. And just ping them for 1. I'm gonna hold my mana up so they can either conserve defense. Just gonna conserve defense that. Then ping them for 1 again. Probably could have held on to the conservative defense a bit longer. And, you know, counter something a bit juicier. But well. Soaring Thought Thief at the end of the turn since it's got flash. Then Icon of Ancestry. Choosing Rogue. I'm going to mill them for 2. Since I swung with the Rogue, and all my creatures are dead. Lovely. Just gonna Black Bloom Rogue. No, 3/4. If I can mill them enough, or since I've got Search for Azcanta out, if they mill themselves enough, sure, waste your extinction event on 1 creature. By all means. I'm just gonna play another of the same creature. You know, in a sense, they're kind of helping me a little bit because they're increasing the number of cards in their graveyard, and if that gets up to 8 or more, Black Bloom Rogue gets +3/+0. Just gonna swing 3 and save my mana for the end of their turn so that I can Soaring Thought Thief, hopefully, if they don't counter it. Like, put something into the graveyard. Solemnity Vision. And there goes my one creature again. Soaring Thought Thief. And it actually got to hit the field. Well, I'm kind of surprised. And then swing 3. Mill him for 2. And all my creatures are dead. Once again. I knew before they even cast anything that they were all dead. You know what? Thoughtseize. Yeah, just get rid of that Anger of the Gods. That was real quick. And Herald's Horn. Choosing rogues. Oh boy. Yeah, I really wish I did. Yeah, fuck this. At that point. It's very nearly 2 AM, so probably just gonna call stream here for the night. Right. So thank you all for watching. Next stream will be on Thursday night.